Well, good morning and welcome to America's Home Cooking again. I am getting ready to handle the crust for the quiche that I'm making today. Like I told you, I'm making the bison quiche today. And you're going to need a 9-inch pie plate for this. I've already explained it on the understanding of pie crusts and why we do the things that we do. Now this has been sitting for a while, so it's pretty cold. I can feel the chill through it, but I'll bring you down so you can see and bring you up. Now I find it easier now because we have a 9-inch pie plate. We have to go up an inch and a little over on both sides, so that's going to add 2 inches to the 9 inches. So we are going to need to make at least a 11 to a 12-inch circle. This is how you figure it out. Always count for the inch on both sides when it comes to the pie. So if you have an 8-inch, you know you have to go 10, but when you have a 9-inch, you're going to have to go to 11. This is going to stick. I'm going to need more flour. Because I'm going to have to spin this a bit while I'm working this. What I'm actually doing is controlling the circle so I can make sure it stays a circle as I try to do this. And towards the end, I'll use the rolling pin. But you can press this out to a pretty good circle before it comes down time to do that. You see, I just started pressing and I am already at 8. So you can see it goes pretty quickly. The only thing is it will stick. I can never roll a circle out with a rolling pin, but I can sure dang well press it out. I saw a chef do this and I said, what a neat trick to do, you know? Because mine works so unlevel, I wasted so much dough all the time, so I said, shoot, there's got to be a way to get this thing into a circle. Now mine doesn't look quite white, which you're accustomed to seeing is because I added my salt mixture and I added wheat germ to it to make it more nutritious, which is something I'm always striving for. We're at 9. Now when you get yours so far along, start in the center and start rolling out. That way you'll keep it in a circle. They say it doesn't always work, but I'm only telling you what they say that you learn. And as you can see, if you don't keep your rolling pin floured, that's why I don't like using a rolling pin, because it gives me so many problems. You can flour it and flour it and flour it and flour it and it's still going to crack. So I'm not gonna lie to you, it's not easy. Yeah, and I'll be turning the oven on soon enough because we're gonna have to cook this crust because it is a quiche that we're making. 11, 11, 11, I got 11. I still have to get a little thicker because we have to, a little bigger, not thicker. Dang, Sandra, get your head together. Yeah, I'm working on it. Now we're going to have a salad. I'm going to be making a new salad and dressing today, and while this quiche is cooking. Another thing about quiches is you've got to let them rest 20 minutes before you serve them. So if you're going to do vegetables or something with it, you have that little bit of time to do it. While the quiche is cooling, because of the cheese and stuff, it has to sit, and if you don't give it that time, you're going to find out you're going to have a problem. I can't roll this much more because it's going to start breaking everywhere. If it cracks, you can patch it up. It's difficult, but it can be done. And I'm not going to show you how to fold it in half and put it into a pie plate because mine usually breaks. But we're using a regular, I know most people make a special batter crust for their quiches. Mine, this is just a regular crust that you would make for a pie. I'm not doing this special. Yeah, you can see it's cracking. It's going to give me a time. So I have problems just like everybody else when it comes to doing pies, unless you make tons of pies. But I don't work for pastry. I work in my kitchen. You know I'm going to have to cut some of this off because I'm going to have to do some patchwork here. And then, this is not one of my best, but, you know, I'll sit there and work with it. Now, if you can take a look, if you can bring your screen up, you'll see that I have slots here I have to fill in before I can do this crust. So what I'm going to do is get a brush. Now the trick is dough sticks to dough, but if it's both dry with flour on both sides, it's not going to stick. So what you're going to do is trinkle a little bit of cold water on one side that's going to go against the dough that's already put in the pie plate. And then this way, when you press it together, it has a better chance of sticking together. And always use cold water. That was cold water. Let's see. Will this piece fit here? Just about. Let's see how you go around checking everything. Now if you have a crack, wet the bottom side, the underside on one, and then press them together, and they should stick. This is how we were taught to do it. Here's another one here. Can't see everything I'm doing, but I am telling you what I am doing. Okay. Now, find your pieces, match them up to the best of your ability. Wet one side, put the wet side down. Because we're going to be working the edging, so don't worry about it. Okay. This one. And if it's a little thin compared to the other areas, by all means, add some on top of it to give it more strength for what it needs. As you see, this crust didn't come out the greatest. I'm doing a lot of patchwork on it. And yes, you see me add flour to my hands. You know why? Because I don't want the wet pieces to stick to me. I want them to stick to each other. Okay, that's not real thick there. Okay. What I'm doing is I'm sort of molding them together is what I'm doing right now. So when I bake them, I hope they don't, come apart and it spills into the oven, which you don't want it to do. You want the crust to actually hold it in. So that's what we're working on. You might not be done patching yet, so I'm going to be working at this for a bit. See, it's coming together a little more. Let me see what the temperature is on quiches so we can get the oven set. All right, we have to preheat it to 350. Just want to make sure. Now we have to flute these edges. Pinch it up. Flute means we're going to design it up, but right now we have to build it up some. So squeeze from the outer and the inner, and you're sort of bringing it up so it stands up a little higher. Be careful not to tear it when you do that, or you're going to be patching again. Now, when you're making pies, do not get upset if the edging isn't perfectly level across. If you get the flavor down, you're doing good. Don't get disappointed with yourself. I've been working on pie crusts and I still have problems with them. Okay, some people are just born naturally. But see what I did? I built up the edges on them. Okay. Now, very carefully, maybe some powder on your fingers. You're going to actually do the motion of this, actually pushing like this. You have two on the outside, a little space, and you take your thumb on the inside, you push in, and it'll give a zigzag right across. We're not making them sharp, we're just going to make nice, quiet ones. This is supposed to prevent your crust from collapsing. It doesn't always work. I'm going to tell you right now, at least I can be honest about it, because I've done this before and it doesn't always work. But most of the time it will keep your crust from collapsing. Other times, I don't know what it is. Now, if you want, you can put it in the refrigerator a bit before you bake it, but you have a chance that it's going to puff and then you're going to lose room. The whole thing is we're going to have to put weights in here to keep it down so there'll be enough room to put all the filling in that we're going to be putting into it. Now you can see that I did a small ripple on that, very small, and it is standing up. You see that? That's what you want. Not perfect, but you know, there it is. Okay, let me wash my hands and I'll get the other stuff that I need. You're going to need some aluminum foil now. I know they mention you're not supposed to cook with foil. I'm not cooking with it, but I need it to stabilize. To help stabilize the crust while it bakes in the shape that we have. I hope it works. Why do I think you're going to crack right there? I can see it and I feel it in my bones. You're going to crack there. Yep, I have it here. I forgot I took it out. Put your fingers like this in the middle. You're going to fold these in some. There's a purpose for this madness. Now, you hold the edge up and you walk with your fingers. You hold the foil up. You're actually walking to the edge without damaging the crust. If you move too fast, you can damage your crust. and your edging. You're not going to fold it over it, you're just going to bring it up to the edge of it. We're working on getting to the bottom first. We want to get right to the bottom. Okay, now we have it to the bottom. You gently, just push very gently the foil to the edge without trying to damage it, just so it will somewhat hold the standing edging that you've got. Okay? You don't have to put it on top of it, just by pushing it close enough on the edge of the pie plate, it'll keep the sides from puffing in and you're still losing volume places where you need to put all the liquid. Now, if you do not have a pie chain, or you want to know where you can get a pie chain, Amazon has them. They're about 6 feet, okay? If you do not have this, you can use beans. Just throw some beans in here, carefully, you know. Hold on. Okay, that should hold it down. But we have to wait till the oven gets there, and then we're going to put it in. Now for my quiches, this is how they say to do this one. Okay? Some people just do it like they do a pie crust, but a quiche is a little different. You sort of do it. What you're going to do is we're going to bake this for 15 minutes. Then we're going to remove, and I'll show you how to remove the foils and stuff without damaging it. And then we're going to bake it another 10 minutes, and then we're going to set it to cool. So it's actually going to be baking 25 minutes. But 15 minutes with this weight to set it. Then we're gently going to pick the foil and stuff up and then bake it another 10 minutes. While it's cooling, we will sit there and get the other stuff done that we have to do. I don't need that, that can go in there. I don't need this. I don't need this. I should keep my knives over here. So as soon as you hear that buzz, we'll be ready. Okay, we're going to put it in. Put it in the middle of your oven. Your shelf should be in the middle too. Now clock yourself 15 minutes. And then after 15 minutes, we'll sit there and I'll show you how to take the foil off. Okay, in a bowl, I want you to put 1/4 of a cup of ketchup, a 1/4 of a teaspoon of black pepper, and a 1/2 teaspoon of oregano. Now, put that to the side. You want 1 tablespoon of oil in a pan that you're going to heat up, and you're going to put 11 ounces of buffalo meat into it. All right? You're going to need 2 eggs. Let me get everything together. Heavy cream milk, this one. We're going to need about 3/4 of a cup of heavy cream and 3/4 of milk. So we're actually, I think, going to do, I'm looking at the clock at the same time, walking around trying to get everything done. So put those 2 together, the milk and the heavy cream, in a measuring cup or another bowl. You're going to brown this buffalo meat. Be careful with your salt, a pinch of salt. Very little salt because we're going to be using mozzarella. The mozzarella has a high salt content. Let's see, 1.5, really big 1.5 right here. Okay. Okay, I'm going to bring you over here so you can see how to do this. You know, my oil's getting hot, everything's going at the same time. Oh, okay. You pick the edges up like this, very carefully. Bring them into the center. You take it out just like that and put it somewhere because it's very, very hot, and you're going to let this cook another 10 minutes. And that's how you take this off. 38. You just put it on the side to cool. Break your buffalo meat up, and you're going to brown it. All right, now into the milk and the heavy cream, you're going to add 2 eggs. And you're going to beat that together with a fork. You ought to see what I'm doing. See, I already have the ketchup and stuff measured right here. Okay, now you know we're going to sit there and be browning that, and then we'll move that. But right now I need the cutting board, and I have to take an onion and slice an onion up. I see there's a spot on my onion. I'll cut it off. This is actually a spin-off from a hamburger quiche. When the meat, there's no more pink on the meat. They want you to drain the meat. The reason you're draining the meat because there is fat in it, and you want to get rid of that because you don't want a greasy quiche. That's why I recommend you doing it. Put a little bit, maybe less than a tablespoon of oil back into that frying pan. You're going to do the onions up in there. You're going to saute them really nice. Getting everything together. Let that drain off. I don't want to keep that. Now while that onion's sauteing, you're going to add 2 garlic to it. I forgot how you do garlic too. 2 pieces should do more than enough for what you want. Just chop the garlic and put it in there. Let it saute with it, and the onions get a head start on them. I gotta back you up. Anyway, I'm sauteing that, okay? Because I need to get that pie crust out from it. Put it in. Pie crust is coming out. And mine cracked. Dang. That's what happens sometimes. Mine's cracked. And there's no way I can patch it up. So it's going to leak right there, and there's nothing I can do about that. And it's very, very flaky. And it is. We're gonna put the ground meat back in it with the onions. You're gonna add the ketchup and the seasonings that I gave you. Turn it off the flame. We're going to put it in the crust, and my crust is going to leak, so this is not going to be the best. It cracked. I mean, it really, I couldn't believe it. And it did. Okay. We're going to dump this into the pie shell. I really don't want it to leak, but it's going to leak. Wish there was something I could do, but no way, Jose. Is this gonna work? Okay, I really don't want to pour this. Well, let me get the cheeses done. You're gonna need mozzarella and cheddar. I have how many ounces? I have 8 ounces. I'm going to take about, what, 3 ounces? Maybe? Oh, that's 2, yeah. About 3 ounces of cheddar. And try to get the same amount off the mozzarella. And we're going to grater it. 16 ounces. This is 8. This is 4. All right, 3 should be right about here. We're going to grater it. I'm really upset it cracked. Cracked from the whole side straight. That happens sometimes. You're going to grater it to the best of your ability, the mozzarella. I know it's not the easiest cheese to work with when you're gratering. Spill you're going to, and there's nothing I can do about this now. I'm not making another crust. Yeah, you're gonna go. Go on. Seep through. that's it. Now, if you ask me how long it's going to bake, I cannot answer that question until it's done. But we'll see. We can check it in 30 minutes and see if it's done. Though most of my quiche is taken out. Now I want to see how much it's leaking. Oh yeah, it's leaking. Okay, that is it for that quiche. I will be back because I'm going to be starting a salad.